Imagine a world where equality was not a given right but a distant dream. This was the world Martin Luther King Jr. stepped into. A world where the color of your skin determined the life you lived, where justice was often a privilege rather than a right. This was the tumultuous backdrop of the United States in the mid-20th century, a time of great change and even greater challenge. It was an era defined by the struggle for civil rights, a struggle that sought to dismantle the entrenched systems of racial segregation and discrimination that had plagued the nation for centuries. This was no easy task. The roots of prejudice ran deep, and the fight for equality was met with fierce resistance. Yet, it was out of this turmoil that heroes were forged, individuals whose courage and determination would shape the course of history. They were the champions of the civil rights movement, a wave of activists who dared to challenge the status quo and demand a better future for all. Among them, one figure stood out, a man whose voice would echo across the nation, whose words would inspire millions, and whose legacy would forever change the world. His name was Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. was more than just a civil rights leader. He was a beacon of hope in a world clouded by injustice, a symbol of the relentless pursuit of equality. His life and work would come to embody the very essence of the civil rights movement, a testament to his unwavering commitment to the cause of justice. But who was Martin Luther King Jr.? What drove him to take up the mantle of leadership in such a tumultuous time? And how did his actions shape the course of history? These are the questions we aim to answer as we take a look into the life and legacy of this remarkable man. In such turbulent times, emerged a beacon of hope, Martin Luther King Jr. His story is a testament to the power of perseverance, the strength of conviction, and the enduring spirit of hope. It's a story that continues to inspire us, reminding us of the transformative power of one individual's dream. Born into a world of segregation, Martin Luther King Jr.'s journey began in Atlanta, Georgia. On January 15, 1929, amidst the echoes of the Jim Crow era, King was born into a family deeply rooted in the Baptist Church. His father, Martin Luther King Sr., was a preacher, and his mother, Alberta Williams King, was a skillful organist. This spiritual upbringing would come to play a pivotal role in his life. Young King was not shielded from the harsh realities of the world. At the tender age of 6, he experienced his first bitter taste of racial discrimination when a white friend's parents prohibited their son from playing with him. This encounter, among others, left an indelible mark on his young mind, stirring up a sense of injustice that would later fuel his activism. King's academic life was no less remarkable. He skipped 2 grades in high school, showing early signs of intellectual prowess. He enrolled at Morehouse College at the age of 15, where he was exposed to the writings of Henry David Thoreau and his concept of civil disobedience. This idea would later inspire King's nonviolent approach to social change. Upon graduation, King attended Crozer Theological Seminary in Pennsylvania, where he honed his oratory skills and deepened his understanding of social and theological issues. He later pursued a doctorate in systematic theology at Boston University, where he met his future wife, Coretta Scott. Their union would not only bless them with 4 children, but also forge a lifelong partnership in the struggle for civil rights. Throughout his education, King grappled with the profound question of how to eradicate social injustice. He was deeply influenced by the peaceful teachings of Mahatma Gandhi and the concept of active nonviolent resistance. The fusion of his theological studies, personal experiences of racial injustice, and the inspiration from Gandhi would eventually shape King's political ideology and his approach towards the civil rights movement. These experiences would go on to shape his profound commitment to the civil rights movement. King did not just witness the civil rights movement, he became its heart and soul. A young Baptist minister named Martin Luther King Jr. soon found himself at the forefront of a burgeoning fight for racial equality. His involvement in the civil rights movement began in earnest in the mid-50s, when an African-American woman named Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat to a white passenger on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama. This act of defiance and arrest of Rosa Parks on the 1st of December 1955 sparked the Montgomery bus boycott, a peaceful protest against racial segregation on the city's public transport system. King, only 26 at the time, was elected to lead the boycott due to his eloquence and conviction from the Montgomery bus boycott from December 5, 1955, December 20, 1956. He guided this year-long protest, which eventually led to the Supreme Court ruling that segregation on public buses was unconstitutional. Buoyed by this victory, in 1957 King and other civil rights activists founded the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, or SCLC. The SCLC's main aim was to end segregation and ensure the voting rights of black citizens. King's leadership, and his commitment to nonviolence, set the tone for the organization. It was here that King championed the philosophy of nonviolent resistance inspired by Mahatma Gandhi's principles. He believed that only through peaceful means could true, lasting change be achieved. Throughout his tenure with the SCLC, King traveled across the nation, giving eloquent speeches and leading peaceful protests. He was arrested multiple times, but he never wavered in his commitment to the civil rights cause. King's ability to mobilize the masses and his unwavering dedication to the principles of nonviolence began to draw international attention to the plight of African Americans in the United States. The world was waking up to the gross injustices faced by black citizens, and change was on the horizon. King's nonviolent approach was beginning to make waves, and the world was starting to take note. In 1963, King delivered a speech that would echo through the ages. The stage was set on August 28th in the heart of Washington, D.C., where the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom was taking place. Amidst the sea of over 200,000 peaceful protesters, a voice rose above, a voice that would shape the course of history. That voice belonged to Martin Luther King Jr., who stood at the Lincoln Memorial, ready to share his dream with the world. But this was more than just a dream. It was a vision, a blueprint for a future where children will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. King's "I Have a Dream" speech was a beacon of hope in the fight for civil rights. It was a call to arms for the oppressed, and a plea for understanding from the oppressors. It was a message of unity, equality, and freedom that transcended the boundaries of race, religion, and nationality. As King spoke, his words resonated with the crowd and the world, with a force that was more than just eloquent rhetoric. His speech was a rallying cry for those yearning for justice and equality, a demand for an end to racism, and a call for the realization of the ideals upon which America was built. His dream was not confined to the borders of the United States. It echoed across continents, inspiring millions around the world to stand against injustice, inequality, and oppression. It influenced countless movements, breaking down barriers and opening doors for those who had been silenced for far too long. The "I Have a Dream" speech was a defining moment in the civil rights movement. It galvanized the fight for equality, giving it a voice and a vision that still inspires change today. It was a testament to King's leadership, his unwavering commitment to the cause, and his belief in the power of dreams. King's dream was not just about the future. It was about the here and now, about taking action and making a difference. It was about turning the tide of history and creating a world where freedom and justice are not just ideals, but realities. King's dream was becoming a rallying cry for equality and justice. And it remains so, even today, reminding us of the power of dreams and the enduring spirit of the civil rights movement. In 1964, King's efforts were recognized on a global scale with the Nobel Peace Prize. This recognition was not just a personal victory for King, but a monumental endorsement of the civil rights movement. At just 35 years old, King became the youngest recipient of the prestigious award, a testament to his relentless dedication and impact. Accepting the prize in Oslo, King delivered a powerful speech that resonated with his lifelong message of peace and equality. He declared that he accepted the award on behalf of all those who had struggled for freedom and civil rights. He said, "I refuse to accept despair as the final response to the ambiguities of history. I refuse to accept the idea that the isness of man's present nature makes him morally incapable of reaching up for the eternal oughtness that forever confronts him." This moment of global recognition did not slow King's activism. Instead, he was spurred on, more determined than ever to fight against racial injustice. The following year, in 1965, King led the Selma to Montgomery marches. These marches were a pivotal moment in the civil rights movement, highlighting the need for voting rights for African Americans. King's passionate commitment to nonviolent protest was on full display, capturing the attention of the nation and the world. In the face of brutal opposition and violence, King and his followers pressed on, their commitment unyielding. They marched from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama, a journey of 54 miles over the course of 5 days. The marches were a testament to the courage and resilience of those fighting for civil rights. These marches, along with King's continued activism, led to significant advancements in civil rights legislation. The Voting Rights Act was signed into law later that year, a major victory for the movement and a testament to King's enduring influence. Despite immense pressure and constant threats, King remained committed to the cause of equality. Dr. King faced mounting criticism from young African American activists who favored a more confrontational approach to seeking change. These young radicals stuck closer to the ideals of the Black nationalist leader Malcolm X. Malcolm X had condemned King's advocacy of nonviolence as criminal in the face of the continuing repression suffered by African Americans. In response to this criticism, King made an effort to appeal to people outside of his racial group. He publicly spoke against the Vietnam War and formed a coalition of poor Americans, both black and white, to address challenges like unemployment and poverty. His dedication, determination, and courage continue to inspire movements for justice and equality around the world. As we remember King, we are reminded of the power of peaceful protest and the potential for change when we stand together. Tragically, King's fight for equality was cut short on Thursday, April 4, 1968, at 6:05 p.m. On this day, a bullet silenced one of the most powerful voices of the civil rights movement. King was in Memphis, Tennessee, supporting a sanitation workers' strike when he was assassinated while standing on a balcony outside his second-floor room at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. His sudden and brutal death sent shockwaves around the world. The national reaction was immediate and intense. Riots erupted across the United States, a stark reflection of the pain and anger felt by many. The racial violence resulted in more than 40 deaths and extensive property damage in over 100 American cities. The grief was not confined within the borders of America. Messages of sorrow poured in from around the globe, a testament to King's international influence. King's assassination had a profound impact on the civil rights movement. His death created a vacuum in leadership, and the movement lost some of its momentum. However, it also galvanized many supporters, pushing them to continue the struggle King had dedicated his life to. His death was a stark reminder of the risks involved in fighting for equality and justice, but it also served as a rallying cry. In the immediate aftermath, legislation was pushed through Congress in record time. The Civil Rights Act of 1968, also known as the Fair Housing Act, was passed just 7 days after King's assassination. This act, aimed at ending housing discrimination, was one of the key issues King had been fighting for. King's death also solidified his status as a martyr for the cause of civil rights. It elevated his message, making it resonate even more powerfully in the hearts and minds of people, not just in America, but around the world. Today we remember King as a champion of nonviolent resistance, a beacon of hope, and a symbol of the fight for racial equality. His speeches continue to inspire new generations. Every year on the third Monday in January we observe MLK Day, a day of service that encourages all Americans to volunteer to improve their communities, a fitting tribute to King's life and work. King may have been gone, but his dream lived on. His legacy continues to shape the fight for civil rights, reminding us all of the power of a dream and the enduring strength of the human spirit. Today, King's legacy is etched into the fabric of American history. His journey from a humble Baptist minister to a beacon of the civil rights movement has left an indelible mark on the world. In the wake of King's assassination, a wave of recognition for his work swept across the nation and beyond. He was posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1977, the nation's highest civilian honor, by President Jimmy Carter. This was a recognition of his tireless fight against racial segregation and his relentless pursuit of equal rights for all. In 1986, Martin Luther King Jr. Day was established, marking the first federal holiday honoring an African American. Celebrated on the third Monday of January each year, this day serves not just as a tribute to King's life and work, but also as a day of service, encouraging individuals to volunteer their time to make a positive impact on their communities. King's influence extends far beyond these awards and recognitions. His speeches continue to resonate, his words quoted in classrooms, courtrooms, and across social platforms, inspiring new generations to stand up against injustice. His legacy is also seen in the countless streets, schools, and buildings named in his honor, a testament to his enduring impact. Yet perhaps the most profound legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. is the continued fight for civil rights. His dream of a society where people are judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character, remains a guiding light in the ongoing struggle for equality. The legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. is a testament to the power of one individual's commitment to justice, equality, and nonviolence. His life and work continue to inspire movements for social and political change, not just in America, but across the globe. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream of equality continues to inspire millions around the world. Martin Luther King Jr.'s life was a testament to the power of a single voice. His journey, from his humble beginnings to his rise as a leader in the civil rights movement, paints a vivid picture of resilience, courage, and unwavering dedication to the pursuit of equality. Throughout his life, King's impassioned speeches and peaceful protests became the beacon of hope for millions, sparking a wave of change that continues to ripple through American society. His legacy, encapsulated in moments like the historic "I Have a Dream" speech or his valiant civil rights activism, serves as a potent reminder of the strength inherent in peaceful resistance. Additionally, King's work highlighted the intersections of African American and Jewish histories, fostering a spirit of unity and collaboration that transcended racial and ethnic boundaries. His enduring influence extends beyond the civil rights movement, inspiring generations to strive for justice and equality. In the words of King himself, "The time is always right to do what is right." Did you enjoy the video? Kindly share your thoughts on how his death impacted the civil rights movement in the comment section. Remember, share and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.